A Goofy movie is my favorite movie of all time, and it's been severely slept on. A Goofy movie is an animated film from 1995 about the story. Okay, I know, that was abrupt. Let's rewind real quick. Let's talk about a Goofy movie.
I can't believe I did that! Come on, this is gonna be fun! Fishing? We're going fishing?
Boy, this has been one crazy vacation.
Disney has meant a lot to me since I was a child, and I know that I'm not alone in that sentiment. It was through the many hours of consuming the animation, the movies, the cartoons, that I really developed my love for art and music. I would consume as much media as I could with my mom and my sister, and it's really weird how hard it is for me to put these feelings into words. Disney has had its handful of iconic characters, but everyone will associate it with the mouse. Mickey to me was a very malleable character in the sense that you could put him in any situation and make a cartoon out of it. It's for that reason that I don't feel very fond of Mickey, but rather I fell in love with both Donald and Goofy respectively. More so Goofy. Goofy is such a great character to me. To me, Goofy has always been an everyman. Someone who works a 9 to 5 in order to provide for his son. You really get the feeling that a lot of love and heart exudes from every short that Goofy's in, and it definitely shines through a Goofy movie. After a lot of thought and time, I can honestly say a Goofy movie is my favorite movie of all time, and it's been severely slept on. A Goofy movie is an animated film from 1995 about the story of Goofy and his son Max. Despite the name, the movie's more so about Max than it is Goofy. To give you a quick synopsis, on the last day of school, Max decides that he wants to make a name for himself by hijacking an assembly and putting on a show for his classmates. In doing so, he manages to impress his crush Roxanne. They set a date to go to an end-of-the-year party to watch the Powerline concert on pay-per-view. I feel old. Max's principal didn't take too kindly to the stunt though. He proceeds to really chew out Goofy and genuinely make him feel like his son is bound to end up in prison or worse if his behavior continues.
If I were you, Mr. Goof, I'd seriously reevaluate the way you're raising your child before he ends up in the electric chair.
The electric chair?
What am I gonna do?
While in a conversation with Pete, Goofy gets the idea to take Max on a cross-country road trip, meaning he would have to miss his date. He panics and he lies to Roxanne, saying that his dad was taking him to that concert and that he would wave to her while dancing in the final number. From there, the movie mainly focuses on the relationship between Goofy and Max, and I think those are the best parts of the movie. Speaking of those two, let's talk about them. For those of you who are unaware, the Goofy movie is actually based on an animated TV show, Goof Troop. Though it's not important to fully enjoy the movie, in fact, I hadn't seen the show till long after I saw the movie hundreds of times, but I do think it'd be nice to kind of step back and see who these characters are originally. Goof Troop is a 90s cartoon about Goofy raising his son Max all by himself. Yeah, it's Goofy. I could make a whole video on my thoughts on the show, but to give you a 5-second review, I like it. It's good. The big reason that I wanted to bring up the show at all is to look at the characters and mostly about how they feel about each other. I tend to forget that the show is really grounded. Max and Goofy start the show living in a trailer home and move into a gentrified neighborhood after Goofy gets his degree. The dynamic between Max and Goofy is really relatable, and I imagine there are a lot of kids out there with a single parent that could really connect with the show. Goofy's character is the same Goofy that you would expect. He's optimistic, and no matter how many times he makes a mistake, he's happy to try again and will go above and beyond to make sure that he can be the best father he can to Max. He extends that kindness to his friends and neighbors, Pete and Peg. Just a side note, in the show, Pete has a wife and daughter, along with his son PJ. But in the movie, the wife and daughter are just gone. So what happened to them? Like, I just want an answer. Did they die? Did she leave and only take her daughter? Did Pistol kill them both in a terrible accident? I don't know. But I would like the answers.
America, explain!
Max's character is a bit different from the show to movie. In the show, Max is only 11 and a half. Max is just a genuinely kind person, but he can make some mistakes when his arrogance gets the better of him. He's a smart kid, often looking after his dad when his actions get a little out of hand. You really get the sense that Max really loves and even looks up to his dad, even if he wouldn't feel comfortable admitting it.
Max, you look just like your dad.
I got an idea, Toadstool.
What?
You promise not to say that again? And I promise not to rearrange your earlobes.
Dad, stop! I can't go with you. I got things to do. Wait.
You look just like I did at your age.
Please don't say that, Dad.
In the movie, he's a few years older in high school. I can only assume freshman or sophomore year. His age in the movie really becomes apparent when looking at how he sees Goofy. He's embarrassed by him, and he fears that he'll become just like him when he's older. You really get the sense that as Max grew older, they got worse and worse at communicating with one another.
Trying to get away from you.
Me? What'd I do?
Forget it.
I thought we was having fun.
This movie feels relatable in a lot of ways. I don't think there's another movie that I can think of that really captures this type of relationship. I think it's very relatable to look at how Max and Goofy see each other, especially if you have ever had that type of relationship with a parent. It gets complicated, it's weird, and it really hits home sometimes. Let's look at the car scene, for example.
What's so funny?
Hi Dad soup.
Huh?
Oh, don't tell me you don't remember Hi Dad soup. Oh, come on. Sure you do. You used to spell things out using the letters like Hi Dad or Maxie or...
Ambidextrous?
Yeah, that's... Huh? No. Little words like...
Hasta la vista?
Like bye-bye.
Or I pledge allegiance.
Or I love you.
This scene holds a lot of weight to it. I love the fact that in other movies, they would have gone for the low-hanging fruit and let the soup spell out I love you. Max doesn't say it because he can't. He's not in a position where he's comfortable communicating that. It's terrifying how realistic this dynamic comes across. Their problems come to a breaking point at the end of the movie, and it's easy to think that everything would be resolved if they just talked it out, but they can't. They've tried, but they don't know how to listen to one another because their relationship hasn't gotten to the point where they're willing to listen.
Dad, listen, about my directions. Will you listen to me? I gotta tell you something, Dad.
Why bother? I'm probably too stupid to understand anyway, right?
Forget it.
But you never get the feeling that they hate each other. It feels like two people who really love each other, but can't find the words to say so, and now it's gone too far. Even when arguing, they still work together because at the end of the day, that bond is still there. The third main character I'd like to talk about is Roxanne. She plays the role of the main love interest of the film, but I think she's written great, and she's more than that. I think she really broke the mold that other characters around that time kind of set for her. A character like her would normally be like a goal or a prize that the main character is supposed to obtain. She's a lot better than that, and I can happily say she's a lot more enjoyable than that. She feels like a real person. She's awkward, shy, and has the same quirks that you would expect from a teenager. She's not in the majority of the movie, but every interaction she has with Max is just a great watch.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Good.
great.
Terrific.
Wonderful.
All right.
Okay, come on, Roxanne. We don't want to belabor the moment now, do we? Well, I better be going.
I'll, call you later.
Okay. Bye. Oh. Bye.
I think there is a lot of great dialogue in the film. There's not a line in the movie that feels wasted or padding. It all feels necessary and it all hits home. Everything has a purpose. It also helps that the cast just bodies these performances. You will never hear Goofy or even Pete sound this emotional.
Oh, hey, don't take my word for it. Check your map.
I don't need to check the map. I trust my son. You know, maybe Max isn't all the things that you think a son should be, loves me.
Hey, my son respects me.
Yeah.
Check the map, Goof.
You should have let me stay at home.
Why? So you'd end up in prison?
Prison? What are you talking about?
Your principal called me.
Now what do you think?
You even lied to me.
I had to. You were ruining my life.
I was only trying to take my boy fishing, okay?
I'm not your little boy anymore, Dad. I've grown up. I've got my own life now.
I know that. I just wanted to be part of it. You're my son, Max. No matter how big you get, you'll always be my son.
I'm a little teapot, let it fly.
The animation in the movie is something that I honestly just really adore. It's so modern that it's really fun to look at. When you think of a Disney animated feature, you think of this grand setting like a castle or under the sea. But a Goofy movie takes place in a regular neighborhood. It's a lot more interesting to look at than you would think. From the diner, the concert, to even the school. You never see these everyday locations drawn as nice as this. Like, look how good this food looks, dude. It looks so f***ing good. Movies like this really make me miss animation on film, even on Goof Troop. There's something about seeing the shadow of the character cells on top of the background, and those colors that you just can't replicate in a digital medium. I'll touch on this for a bit because of copyright issues, but the soundtrack is just banging. I could go into excruciating detail about how much of a great musical this is, but I think there's a video out there that just does a better job than I ever could. Link in description. But I would like to make a few points. From Eye to Eye, After Today, Stand Out, or even Lester's Possum Park, every song is really memorable, and at no point does any of the music feel intrusive. On the Open Road feels really cool to me as it utilizes the animation with the song, starting with the sounds of the car and the objects inside of it that make the beat that Goofy and the others sing to. It's so cool. Overall, the soundtrack is just so much fun. There's a lot that I like about this movie. It's been my favorite movie for a really, really long time. And I've never took a step back to really dissect why that was. Two friends of mine recently watched the movie, and on watching it, they talked about how it was good, but they don't understand why it's my favorite movie. And they brought up the point that I don't have that well of a relationship with my dad. And first off, keep my name out your mouth. Secondly, I think about my mom in a lot of these scenes. To get a little personal, this movie really connected with me as a kid because I grew up with just my mom and sister for a lot of my life. I saw a lot of Goofy in my mom. I really saw parallels to mine and my mom's relationship through Max and Goofy. Even to this day, as much as we argue, as much as we disagree, I know I can count on her, even if we don't see eye to eye. I'm sorry, I'm not going to make any more of those corny puns.
Dandelion seeds fill the sky. I remember making wishes once, casting dreams beyond the stars, yet virtue now is but a distant drum. First time that I kissed someone, all the world lost its urgency. Felt my wings extend full span, but times corroded them mercilessly. Stiff my breath ain't as resolute, can't see past the stupendous walls. Scared of shame.
The Goofy movie was a huge part of my childhood, and I don't think that I would be who I was without this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, I really implore you to give it a chance. Even if you don't like animation, even if you hate animation, give this movie a chance. If you hate musicals, give this movie a chance. I guarantee it'll most likely surprise you. You have severely slept on this movie. I guarantee you that. Is it the greatest movie of all time? Absolutely not. Is it a lot better than you would think? I do think so. I would like to thank you guys for watching this little video that I put together about my favorite movie of all time. But if you would like to see more of me, I have more videos on the channel. I recommend my Final Fantasy one. That would be down in the description. I run 2 podcasts, which I will get back to soon. But that's the Detention Podcast and Sorry to Bother You, both of which will be in the description below. Both are on Spotify. This isn't a plug because I'm not sponsored, but I would like to be. Cool shirts are dope. Sponsor me, please. Like, make me an industry plant. You know, like build up my channel for me. Like, give me clout. Sponsor me, and I will sell your shirts. I love your shirts. I made your wallpaper my wallpaper. I'm simping cool shirts. not school shirts. You can wear cool shirts as school shirts. I'm just simping out for them. With that being said, I hope you enjoy the video. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Why'd you run from me? I said to myself, everything is gonna change. I'm tired of wishing, so I sit in my well. I'm just counting all the change.